Holy crap. It's video 2, and we are seeing a bigger war than I think we've ever seen in a Civ 5 AI only battle so far. And I guess I shouldn't say a war because it's multiple wars, and this is gonna be so insane to keep up with. We should pretty much just assume that when it comes to Arabia, Assyria, Assyria here, and Persia, they're pretty much at war with the entire world. That's pretty much where we're at. So yeah, there we go. As well as I made a mistake in the last video, Mongolia declared war on Washington, which means that yeah, Korea and China are involved. So America and Canada are completely surrounded. Now it's very early in the campaign, and this is Emperor difficulty. I wouldn't say that everyone here is screwed. It's you really never know. There's really not that many units still left. I mean, it's turned 68. And the thing is, though, I can guarantee you almost guarantee you that there's going to be more wars within this video. I can almost bet that there will be a lot more wars even declared in this video. So I don't think I'm going to try to keep up with it. I think the format of how I should go about this, in the beginning at least, when it's really complicated, is just allowing it to play out. And we'll watch, we'll watch as best as we can, and I'll scroll over different things, and it will get easier as we continue onward. The Zulu have denounced Korea, and we did realize that those denouncements are single. They aren't by anybody else. Okay, so the Ottomans might have a very interesting role. Remember, the Ottomans are at war with the nations of the Middle East. So, but actually, they're not anywhere close. I don't know what the Ottomans are doing, but they've got a huge force. Remember, they're allied with the Russians. So I guess the Ottomans are starting to get closer to the Russians, too, as we've gone further. Boom. Okay, so the first civ has fallen. Or not the first civ, but the first city, I'm sorry, has fallen. So Boston has fallen to the Chinese. And again, this is a very common problem for the Washington AI. He's always way too expansive, and he never builds any military units, and this is really common. If he can somehow hold on to his capital, then it won't be a huge disaster, but we'll see. And now there seems to be a race to attack Kingston. Okay, so what have people like to smile the most? Hey, it's me. I am not a part of the game, though. Then we have Mayans, so there's not a global happiness either. Happiness is calculated individually. Ooh, yeah, China's pretty unhappy, and that's because they have a lot of cities already. That makes sense. Who has the first religion? The Aztecs. All right, Catholicism. That's interesting. Well, it actually might not be the first religion. I really haven't been keeping up at all in terms of religion. Oh my goodness. Yeah, huge race to destroy Persia right now. We have England. We have the Romans here. What was that? I don't know. Probably denouncement. Another thing that's nice, again, about like kind of doing a smaller campaign with only 22 civs, or I should say 21, is that we can keep up with the diplomacy of the worlds. I do really enjoy that. We haven't really been able to do too much of that. Okay, so America might have just saved everybody. So America's out of their war. And at the end of the day, they only lost one city. So the English Colonial Alliance, that's England, America, and Canada, they're going to escape here. They're going to escape here. And actually, England might even steal a city away from Persia, which they kind of desperately need. So right now, there's just a coalition against the Middle Eastern powers so far. Germany and Canada have made a declaration of friendship. What else do we see? England and Korea are now friends. Germany and the Mayans are now friends. I guess China was the only one that really wanted anything from that war. Who knows? Ooh, Germany really building up a force. See, that's something I should have made a note of in the first video, is actually these powers in the corner might have a better advantage. The civs in the middle, ooh, that's going to be really hard to defend themselves. But people like the Inca, I'm sorry, that's the Mayans. Here are the Incas, but the Incas are also involved. The Austrians and the Germans, they might have a really good time because they're cornered. They don't have to worry about a certain front. So we might see a really good campaign from kind of the middle part of Europe alliance with Germany, Austria, and Rome. Rome might not make it, but as well as the native powers, because the Mayans are in the corner, the Inca are in the corner, and the Aztecs are in the south. But the Aztecs might get smushed in between the Assyrians and the Mongolians. That's not a good combination to be around right now. Okay, so we have England building the Temple of Artemis. Very good, England. We did see the Zulu were on top in terms of food growth. Germany and Russia are now friends. Where are the Zulu at? So they do have access to a lot of grasslands, and that's what I figured. I made that comment in the first video. I figured they would probably be able to. They're probably accessing. Oh my gosh! Okay, so what happened here? England grabbed a city, and Rome grabbed a city from Persia. So Persia looks like they were too expansive in the middle, which caused the war. Korea has built the pyramids. So bam, Rome picking up their 4th city. England picking up their 3rd city. We have the Persians down to only 2 settlements now. Do they have any sort of reinforcements anywhere possible? Ooh, Germany's doing a really good job so far. Remember, the Assyrians are a part of this sort of coalition war as well. How's Arabia doing? Since Arabia is also facing the world. Arabia's okay because so far their borders aren't really next to anybody. America, I think, is involved, but America just finished up with a war against China, so their military's been, for the most part, pretty decimated, I would say. I would think so. They do need to watch the Ottomans, but the Ottomans were distracted going through Russian territory. What are they doing exactly? I don't know. Bam, and now the Romans are going to try to pick up the Persian capital. All right, has been captured by Germany. Whoa. Okay, so Germany captured this city initially, but the Assyrians grabbed it back. This is not the Assyrian capital. Wow, this is going to be a fun campaign. I don't know if you guys are feeling it too, but man, so far, at least this beginning part, I don't know what the late game's going to look like, but man, this has been really fun, and it's only been 2 videos, so I'm really excited. So it looks like Germany is going to grab the 2nd settlement that Assyria has. And they might even actually capture the. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be hard with that siege tower there. That siege tower is gonna make things complicated. Boom. Okay, so 2 cities have fallen. Oh, 3 cities. I'm sorry, and I didn't even check them. So the Russians ended up grabbing this away. Who took it first though? Did they take it back or? Geez, that was so much. That was so many notifications there. The Mayans have discovered Buddhism. Okay. Poland and Zulu now declaration of friendship. Catherine has built the mausoleum. And we have Darius losing his capital, and it was actually to Russia. So Russia snuck in. That's not good. And that's especially not good for the Russian alliance. Let's look at the diplomatic implications because of the team-based mechanic. Russia just took over the Persian capital. Right here, smack dab in the middle. Now, who is that going to kind of screw over? It's going to kind of screw over Poland. And it's going to kind of screw over the Ottomans. We just have to think about who else. Well, they're all somewhat close together, so maybe not. But I was thinking if one of their team members were maybe in the corner, maybe next to the Zulu, then that would be kind of bad. Because even though the Russians, grabbed a city, that would be bad for the team as a whole, because they're more likely going to go down to war. Great Wall has been built by the Inca, so hey, the Native American civs are doing a pretty good job. Pretty good job so far. Why is oh, so Poland is down to 1 city. I'm wondering if they're going to actually destroy it or not. Yeah, so the Native American civs have built a lot of wonders. That's the Inca and the Mayans together. This is going to be really, really hard to take over the Inca now that I think about it, because they're already surrounded by all this forest and they're in the corner. But as well as with the Great Wall, ooh, that will be tough. Germany and America are now friends. Austria and America, Rome and Russia friends. We've got another religion founded. We'll have to see how religion also plays an impact on this team. So Poland will probably take this one over, and Persia will be the first civ eliminated, I believe. This city hasn't been taken. Oh, I think those notifications just let me know that Germany took a city over, then Assyria took a city over. Then it was Persia lost its capital. Pretty sure that's what happened. Again, that siege tower, very, very dominant unit. And even though the Assyrians pretty much have no military, the siege tower is kind of keeping them safe, capturing their city back. But it's into the yellow. Boom, they didn't take it that time. And bam, Poland took over, and Persia has been destroyed. So the Middle Eastern civs are now down to 2 nations, and that is Assyria and Harun al-Rashid of Arabia. Arabia seems to be doing okay. They're actually kind of okay right now. They just need to stay out of the world politics, let everything else go. Okay, so Arabia's okay. Now, who else could be at risk here? Assyria might fall actually as well. So just like that, we might have a team down to just 1 member. And like I said, I mean, civs are going to be destroyed. That is for sure going to happen. I just want to know how. Now I'm starting to freak out about the late game. Now I'm starting to fear that, like, wait a second, this is too exciting in the beginning. Is the late game really going to be this exciting? Is that possible? I don't know if that's possible, but maybe it is. Because all it takes is one war to break the entire world out into a massive world war. And this is not really a world. It's not TSL or anything like that, but still. How has Canada been doing? Canada really settling fast with Kingston, Ottomans, Montreal, and Toronto. They could be asking for a second coalition war with the African and Asian powers. America still has not built up a military, so I wouldn't be too confident there. America has publicly denounced the Zulu, okay. And we have Washington has entered the medieval era. Austria doing pretty good, staying kind of quiet, kind of to themselves. Another thing is that's cool is maybe a war that we've never thought would have happened. Excuse me, I almost like died saying that for some reason. My voice just got weird. Like let's say like the Zulu are really big and powerful, and the Koreans are really big and powerful. Like in the previous campaigns, we saw big old nations never really end up going to war at the very end of the game, but their alliances might pull them into war accidentally. You know what I mean? Like maybe the Zulu and the Koreans have half of the world under their control, but they're both about the same military size. Well, if they still both have allies involved, those allies could force them into war. That's what's exciting about this. That's why this could lead to so many different possibilities. Okay, so everyone's pieced out with Assyria. Assyria will end up surviving. Okay, so we have a second American war. English colonial war. Assyria, I think, has escaped. I think that's all the peace deals. I think 5 nations declared war on them. So Assyria and Arabia have ended up escaping for now. Arabia has been okay, but America is back on the chopping block. Again, Poland's going to call in their allies of Russia and the Ottomans. Yes, and then we have, of course, Germany calling in Rome and Austria. So we'll see how this ends. They don't really touch... The American borders are so far, I think, somewhat away from them. The Americans and the Canadians are somewhat safe from that. Oh my goodness. The world just went rampant into denouncements. Oh, geez. Okay, and how are we checking? How are we doing here? Oh my gosh. Now people are declaring war on Poland in turn. So Germany and the Native American powers. People we like to visit. We have the Songhai with a great work. And boom, right like that. I mean, the Aztecs had already built an army, but notice the Aztecs weren't the ones to declare the war. It was actually the Mayans. This is kind of big because we talked about this. Persia was the one, or I'm sorry, the Eastern European powers were the one to benefit most, I think, from that Persian collapse, that Persian Empire collapse. But then again, this might be complicated because they also have to worry about Russia. Russia also controls the city. So yeah, they're kind of splitting up their Jaguar warriors. Might not be the best bet. Yeah, we'll have to watch out for that. Mayans with another settler over here in the corner. It does look like the Native Americans look like they're going to be pretty powerful. Rome doing really well for themselves as well. Rome doing well for themselves as well. And yes, I wouldn't doubt that England might lose something here, especially with the Ottomans and Rome so close to them. That will be tough. The Inca have denounced the Austrians. Again, I think Canada and America are okay. It's actually England. I should have said that was on the chopping block. Where's the Mongolian military? They have not built much, which is weird. And I'm shocked to see Assyria so low on the list. Okay, so boom. They took over their first city. The Aztecs have taken over Susa. So bam, they took away this former Persian city, then former Polish city, and then bam, England lost their city that they took from Persia as well. Assyria's publicly denounced the Zulu. And I think the Chinese have denounced the Mayans. We've got reformation belief added already? Holy crap. All right, so who is this? It's the Aztecs? Aztecs going extremely fast. 250 BC, video 2, and we're already at turn 105. Love that. Absolutely love that. Not sure how the end of the campaign. I knew this was going to be. I should have mentioned that in the first video. Actually, this will probably be more of a minier series. You know, whenever I do a world campaign, it's always like a big event. You know what I mean? So we usually go like 40 or 50 videos into it. But this is definitely going to be one of those more mini series, kind of like if you watched my best modded Civ AI only video. I think that series only went on. Ah, man, that was a while ago, so I have no idea. But I thought it only went on for about 22 videos. That's what I'm expecting this one to be. Kind of a more mini AI only series. It's supposed to be just kind of an experiment. So, anyways, Rome captured the former Persian capital. Now we have the Zulu and the African powers going after the Eastern European civs. So Poland and Russia and the Ottomans. The Ottomans seem to be doing okay, though. I think the Ottomans are going to be, for the most part, pretty safe. We'll see. Bam, statue of Zeus has been built by Shaka. And we have a very nice line that Canada is settling. America, while the world's distracted, you better be building a military. There's a huge force from all of these civs here starting to come into power. So the Chinese have built the Chichen Itza. So that's going to give them 50% longer golden ages. Persia could have used that if they were still alive, of course. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, small, kind of a second war now for Germany. Now, I don't know if it's directly for Germany. Mongolia is over here. The Zulu are over here. I feel like this isn't necessarily telling us exactly which civs are declaring war on which. That doesn't really make sense because I've noticed that. Mongolia and the Zulu both have no stakes on Bismarck's empire. There's no reason. And they seem like they have a pretty good military. Like, why would they do that? So I don't think that these are accurate to think that that's exactly who caused the war. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not 100% about this. This is all theory. This is the first time I've experimented like watching the AI and how it like thinks here. But that will be a problem. The Koreans and the Chinese going after Austrian territory, which is actually what I think the war was declared for. It was for Austrian territory, not for German territory. But we'll see. How's Rome doing? Rome is, I think, safe for the most part. Wow. Rome has a lot of cities. Wow, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, Rome has a lot of cities. Also, wait a second. Where is... oh, there's Songhai. Jeez, we haven't talked about Songhai at all. They've been really kind of in the corner. I was like, wait a second. I know Songhai's in the map someplace, but I don't know where they're at. Okay, so what happened here? Seems like a lot of civs have gotten lucky that they haven't been destroyed. Like, England wasn't destroyed, so, you know, the English colonial alliance still remains. They're still doing okay. Rome looking really powerful, though. I will say that. Rome looking very, very powerful. Bam. Yeah, see, that's the problem, is that I think the war was declared for Austria, but Germany is going to kick some butt when it comes to, like, Morocco here. Fez is completely undefended. Fez is completely undefended. That's what I'm saying, is that they don't take into account other nations around the world. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Russia has founded the Eastern Orthodox religion, and we'll be looking at the info addicts, I believe, in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.